Nigeria, by extension, Africa, battles a growing youthful population, and with little or no meaningful engagement, leaves a ticking time bomb on our hands. We are a blessed continent with great wealth, both in people and material. Our focus on ways remains driving conversations that affects us all. Topics in the news, social concerns, politics, leadership, governance, empowerment, resource management, conflict management, finance, SME sustainability, technological innovation, food security, health, education, brain drain, our well-being, citizenship, and much more. Our goal is to continuously drive these conversations, keep them burning at the table to effect a positive change, both for our nation and continent. Ways, what are you saying, has a secret ingredient that completes the conversation every single episode, and that ingredient is you. Our past conversations shaped our yesterday. To shape our tomorrow, we must keep talking. So, I want to hear you. Be a part of our live conversations Mondays through Fridays. And let's all have our say.
Many Nigerians only engage during general elections and wait another 4 years before they participate again. However, our democracy gives us other chance to be involved, including the by-elections. Now, these elections happen when a seat becomes vacant before the end of a tenure. On Saturday, August 16, 2025, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, will conduct by-elections and return elections in different parts of the country. Now, for citizens in those areas, this is an opportunity to vote for those who represent them in the state or national assembly. It's another episode on your favorite primetime show, Ways. My name is Messi, and today we're discussing what citizens should know about the upcoming by-elections. Now, remember, the Ways is all about you. You are the why in the Ways, so it means that you can join the conversation now daily and add your voice. All you need to do is just head over to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV and hit the subscribe button, like, share. Invite your friends to join the show now. I'd like to hear your thoughts when the phone lines are open, okay? So, but as always, I'd like you to ponder on my quote for today. We urge political parties to adhere strictly to the approved timetable, especially the deadline for the conduct of primaries and the submission of nomination form. This is according to Professor Mahmood Yakubu, chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. We'll delve into this much later, but first off, we need to take a quick break. And when I return, I'll tell you what I found in the news. Please stay with us. You're still watching Ways, hashtag, what are you saying? And tonight we're talking about what citizens should know about the by-elections happening, or that will happen on the 16th of August, 2025, across, different parts. 12 states, however. Now, a by-election is an election held when an elected lawmaker seat becomes vacant before the end of their tenure. This can happen due to death, resignation, court nullification, or successful recall. INEC organizes a fresh election so that citizens can choose someone new to represent them. Joining us today is Messi Abiem, Program Manager of Kimpact Development Initiative. I hope I got that correctly. Thank you so much, Messi, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Messi, for having me on the program tonight.
Well, that sounds very funny. Thank you, Messi. Welcome, Messi, and thank you, Messi. Okay, great to have you on the show. So quickly, the by-elections, from the definition, we have seen that someone has to die, a seat has to be declared vacant. Can you quickly bring us up to speed with seats and spaces that need to be occupied on the 16th of August, 2025?
Just like you have said, the by-elections are elections that are usually conducted when we have vacant seats due to death, resignation, and sometimes also court nullification of the election process. And these elections that would hold on the 16th of August 2025 would hold in 12 states. States involved for these elections are Anambra, we have Kaduna, we have Edo, we have Ogun, Oyo, Jigawa, Niger, Kano, Kogi, Taraba, Zamfara, and Adamawa states. These elections we hold across 16 constituencies across the states, and they involve 2 senatorial districts, 5 federal constituencies, and 9 state assembly seats that would be filled for these elections. So basically, that is where the elections would hold, and the various constituencies and the senatorial districts for which these elections would hold. And these elections would hold across 356 wards and across 6,987 polling units that have been declared vacant, and they need to be filled by people who would represent these constituencies at the national and state houses of assemblies.
Okay. Why is this by-elections important? And why should we, care, regardless of what's going on in the polity?
So it's always noted that citizens generally, they ignore by-elections. Reasons being that it is not general elections and there is no much attention to these by-elections. It's also important because these seats that are vacant, they do not have representatives at these legislative houses. And it's very important that they should have people representing them that would be part of taking decisions on the laws that would guide the process, budgets that concern the development of those constituencies. And it's also very important that people are there to also be part of the decision-making process. The legislators will be there to speak for their constituents. So if these seats are left vacant, they are being neglected in the governance process in the country. So it's very important that people are aware and they come out for these elections.
But again, there's something called apathy. And over time, it's because the people have actually lost trust and hope, in the electoral process. So again, if we look at, the outpour or the thoughts of the people and the comments and the reaction of the people as against the 2023 elections, do you think that Nigerians would actually pay attention, or people would actually turn out on the 16th to cast their vote?
So personally, I feel that these elections, we're having Anambra elections in November. So I feel INEC conducting these elections would also be an avenue for them to build the trust of the citizens. So it's important that people come out for these elections, and if citizens witness the process, so it's advisable that INEC builds the trust, just reclaims that trust that citizens have lost in them for the elections. So I think it is very important, and I believe INEC would also want to use this to salvage the situation owing from the experiences of the 2023 general elections, and as we go into the Anambra elections in November. So the by-elections would just be like a process where citizens would, INEC would also reclaim the trust of the citizens in the elections. So it will be a good thing, and it will be laudable if citizens that are in those affected constituencies that the elections would hold turn out for the elections, notwithstanding the challenges that have been faced in previous elections. So it would just be like an avenue for INEC to reclaim the trust of the citizens. For me, that's how I see it,
So,
and I think, yeah.
no, go ahead with your thoughts.
So I think with the elections generally, if citizens come out and the candidates and the political parties and also the election management body, they see that citizens are actually interested in the process. They wouldn't want to do anything that would make citizens confirm their lack of trust in the process. So citizens need to come out and exercise their franchise, no matter the experiences in the past, with the hope and the trust that these elections would turn out better than the 2023 general elections.
You know, when you say that the INEC is going to salvage the situation or try to rewrite the wrongs of the 2023 elections, it sounds as though you're a spokesperson for INEC. So, I mean, what's giving you that level of confidence? Because we have been through this particular route, if you like to say. We had the 2025 elections. Again, we constantly said, especially if you had to be in this space, where we constantly monitor the elections and see the development. Was it the 2015, 2015 and then the 2019 elections, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me. So we keep saying INEC will rewrite the wrongs. So the next election, there's going to be an Anambra election, or there's going to be an Osun State election, or, we constantly have a hope that INEC will rewrite the elections, but that's not the case. So what makes you think? Go ahead.
So it's for my end, personally, I believe the election management body, they are in the process. They are online. They see citizens' reactions, and though the elections were conducted to the best of their ability, I also feel from the reactions and the feedbacks from citizens, it's a take back and a feedback from them to also go back. I believe there has been a review of the elections, and the process generally has been reviewed, and there would be improvements. So it's a belief and a trust that the election management body will do better in these elections, as we also move forward into the Anambra elections, Anambra, Ekiti, and Osun elections for 2026. And to also put that on the table, the INEC chairman at this point he is at the verge of leaving the seat. So it would be a good thing that he conducts these elections with the hope and the trust that citizens have in the body, just to manage the situation of the 2023 general elections.
So Nigerians are very angry. People are struggling. People are suffering. People are dying. People are hungry. Do you think that people would actually turn up for the elections?
It's always general in every elections. There would be voter apathy. People would not want to turn out. From experiences for by-elections generally, there have always been low voter turnout. But I feel it's always it's also on the political parties, on the candidates, and also the election management body. How well has the voter education been? How well has the awareness of these elections been for citizens to also know that these elections would hold in their constituencies? It might surprise you to know that a lot of persons are not even aware of these elections that would hold on the 16th. So how well is the election management body, how well are the political parties creating awareness for these elections for people to come out? So I think if there is a certain level of voter education for people to come out for this process. The citizens in those constituencies would not want the seats to be vacant, and they would not want to have representation at this level of decision-making process. So I think going into the elections, if there are greater levels of voter education from the election management body, the political parties, and even the candidates themselves, I believe a lot of persons would turn out for the elections.
Okay, so one of the things that you have mentioned in the course of our conversation today, just like I was saying, the things that citizens should know about the by-elections that will be happening in 12 states across the entire country on the 16th of August 2025. You kept on saying that you're hoping that INEC will be able to salvage themselves, rewrite the wrongs of the 2023 elections. So what wrongs are you referring to, and what exactly are you saying they need to salvage?
So for me, I think the 2023 elections, INEC conducted the election to the best of their ability. The election process, but there are some processes which the citizens are pinpointing to, and I think it would be a good thing, since they are in the process and they see these things out there. It would be a good thing that it's a feedback, and I think they should rework and see how these elections can be conducted to the best of their ability and to the greatest satisfaction.
No, it looks as though you're sounding apolitical. You're trying to be politically correct. So you kept on saying, I will bring that to you again. You said they will salvage themselves. They will rewrite the wrongs of 2023 elections. Again, what were the errors of the 2023 elections, the errors that you think the INEC will rewrite, that would use this by-elections? You hope, what are there? That's what I'm asking.
So I would set an example for the IREV. INEC on the 2023 elections, the day of the elections, there were some glitches that happened with the IREV, and it's a good thing that INEC reworks that and creates builds the citizen trust in the electoral process, in uploading results in real time, where citizens can have access to these elections. It will be a good thing. That's one example I would cite for the IREV to actually work for these by-elections, and the citizens would build the citizens' confidence as we go into Anambra elections.
Okay. Well, we need to take a short break now, Mercy, and when we return, the conversation will continue right here. Please stay with us.
Tell us you're a Nigerian without saying a word. Energy security is one of the most pressing issues for many developing countries like Nigeria. And if there's going to be any meaningful progress, addressing our energy issues is non-negotiable.
I need to see light from my house. Make them do something.
Band A is expensive. I literally have to turn off all my appliances just to reduce costs.
We need light.
Introducing the Energy Outlook, your go-to show for everything energy. Every week, we will bring you the latest insights, innovation, and in-depth analysis of Nigeria's energy sector. From policy discussions to regulatory insights, we will analyze the key decisions influencing growth and sustainability in the energy sector. We'll bring you the human stories behind the headlines, giving you a personal perspective on the broader energy challenges. Join me every Friday at 6 p.m. for the Energy Outlook, your guide to the future of energy, where energy means business.
You're still watching Ways, hashtag what are you saying? Thank you for staying tuned and tuning in as well. We're discussing what citizens should know about the upcoming by-elections slated for the 16th of August 2025. Now, we'd like to hear your thoughts on this conversation. Remember that you can join the conversation by sending an SMS or WhatsApp to the number 081-8038-46 and 63. The phone lines are also open. It means you can call the number 070-2500-77 and 49 or 070-142424 and 20. Let's hear what you have to say. Messi is here with me tonight. Well, not my Messi, but Messi's here. So we've been talking about the elections and how important these elections are. These elections are conducted because there is a vacancy across, and this might happen because of death, removal from office across, amongst other things, 12 states in the country. Okay, so it's not the entire country where these elections will be conducted. It will be happening in 12 states. Now, over 3.5 million registered voters are expected to participate across 6,987 polling units in 356 wards within 32 local government areas. However, the elections will not be held in Kanas 2 state constituency in Rivers State and Marafra South state constituency in Zamfara due to the state of emergency and the ongoing legal proceedings, respectively. Now, Messi, let's talk about one of the issues that affected the 2023 elections. Although I feel like it's something that's been going on in our elections, you know, from 1999 up until this moment, vote buying and voter inducement. How do you see this play out, and what do you want the people to know?
For elections generally, we had the experience of 2023 general elections, the Edo and Ondo governorship elections. There have always been cases of vote buying and voter inducements. And it's also very pertinent to state that from experiences in by-elections, we have had cases of vote buying and voter inducement for these elections. So, like I would still state, it is the responsibility of the election management body, the political parties, and also the candidates that would be going in for these elections to note that these elections are being conducted to fill these vacant seats for the legislative houses. If there is enough voter education, good voter education for citizens, and as to why they need to come out for these elections, I believe that vote buying would be at a minimal level if these citizens see why they should come out and cast their votes during these elections. Vote buying is going to be at a very minimal level, and that can be solved through voter education. So that is one area that we can curb vote buying in the elections.
But do you think that voter education is enough to curb vote buying? We're dealing with an economy where the value of the naira has depreciated so badly that you have so much money chasing fewer goods. That's our current reality. And then again, you're dealing with an economy where a lot of people are out of their jobs. Jobs. There's so much hunger, there's so much poverty, and crime has become the order of the day. So, I mean, just make me understand with what you have proposed now, or what you're saying, that voter education will get people to come out. So if people all of a sudden find out that there's going to be a by-elections that's happening on the 16th, that would literally come out. Are we really, really being honest here?
Vote buying, it's a general thing in elections. It's a general thing in elections, though it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be part of our election process. But at the same time, permit me to say that you're dealing with citizens here, and you cannot really take that out. Like I said, voter education would reduce it to a minimal level. based on the trust. If the citizens know the candidates that would be presented for these elections, I don't know if some of the citizens at these constituencies even know the candidates that would be coming out for the elections, because INEC were from the timetable for the by-elections, INEC is supposed to present the list of candidates that would be going in for the elections. But as at today, I don't think that list have been published yet, because I did that research and I have not seen that. So if the citizens know, that's where it lies on the political parties to educate these people, and they have the choice because it is their constituents and they know the people that would be coming out for these elections. So they know their people, they know what they can do. So it would be at the minimal level if the citizens have the trust of these people that, okay, if these people go out there to represent us, they would do what would benefit our constituency. So I think
so they will not be involved in, they will not be induced by, you know, the politicians or those who are returning or trying to fill that seat. Because what I'm saying is that people are hungry. So if somebody flashes, you know, not even up to 100,000 to someone who's been out of job or who can't cater for her family or makes all of that, you think that people would not, it would not compromise the entire electoral process?
Like I would always say, if a candidate presents you a certain amount of money to buy your vote, what do you think that sum would cater for you for the period of that person's tenure? It's a perception thing, right? It's a perception thing. If you see that this would not cater for that period of the person's tenure, what is the guarantee that I vote for you and I keep on suffering? So for me, I feel it's a perception kind of thing that these citizens need to come out of, that they need to put people that would represent them rightly, speak for them, and present their issues at those legislative houses.
Remember that you can join the conversation by sending an SMS or WhatsApp to the number 081-8038-46 and 63. SMS to that number, SMS or WhatsApp to that number. I'd like to take it again, peradventure. I took that very fast. 081-8038-46 and 63. The phone lines are open. It means that you can calling on the show tonight. 07025-007749 or 070142424 and 20. Let's hear your thoughts on the topic tonight. We're talking about the by-elections that's happening, what citizens should know, that these elections are happening across 12 states. I beg your pardon, 12 states. Yes, 12 states in the country. Again, I need to get my statistics very right. And across about 6,987 polling units in 356 wards within 32 local governments in the country. So we're expecting to see 3.5 million registered voters participate in the elections. And you would have Rivers State and Zamfara State excluded from that elections because of the emergency and the legal issues that are going on. But then again, this conversation that we're having, we'd like to hear from you. So I'm not sure if we did mention those states that these elections will be happening. I think I did mention it in the course of this conversation. But if you can hear us, please, would like to hear your thoughts then. Let's hear what you have to say. Right. What do you think about the by-elections? Are you planning to cast your vote? And some of the factors that affected the 2023 elections, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that would stop you from, going to cast your votes now? So, Messi, let's talk about what citizens can literally do now. What can they do? What are they expected to do? And what are the authorities also expected to do?
Before I come to that, I would also like to state, just put this out there, the fact that prosecuting electoral offenders can also serve as a deterrent for vote buying. It's out there that voters who engage in vote buying for elections should be prosecuted for that offense. And I also think that if the election management body and the security agencies take this seriously, they can also curb vote buying for the elections. Then to move to your questions that what citizens can do for the elections, it is your constituents, like I had stated earlier. It is your constituents, and this election is happening in your area. If it would be a good thing, and it would be a nice thing for you to come out and cast your vote, and also encourage other people to be a part of the elections. It's one thing for you to sit and not participate in the election, and a few number of voters decide the fate of your constituent. I don't think that would be a good thing to run for that number of years that we have left for the tenure. So if citizens can come out, encourage other people to also come out and cast their votes for the elections, that is one thing that would help and then make the process more better than it has been.
Okay, let's take your calls now. 070 0701 42 and 2420. Let's hear what you have to say. Or 07025 007749. Numbers to call this night to be part of the show. You can also send your messages to the number 081 8038 and 46 and 63. Let's talk the by-elections, what you need to know. What are your concerns? These elections will be happening in different parts of the state. I mean, I think that if you like to ask me, Messi, I think that over the years, the people have lost trust in the elections. Yes. The people have literally lost trust in the elections. And if you look at the 2023 elections, there's something that actually stood out, especially when we had the Electoral Act that came into being. As a matter of fact, I remember vividly, as I speak with you now, the pictures, just flashing through my face, and all of the comments and the statement that we had, the excitement across the entire country, especially the elites, including legal practitioners. So much talk about the best thing that would have happened in the Buhari's government. Unfortunately, the former president is late. But, there was so much faith, and a lot of pundits and political, political analysts and what you would like to say had said that it was just going to be different. And some people thought that the turnout that we had and the level of involvement that we had in the 2023 elections was as a result of the Electoral Act and then the amendments of the Electoral Act or the Electoral Act and all that it was. And one of the things was that, technology was going to be used to run that elections, not entirely, but in terms of uploading of the result. And then again, when it came to the D-Day, we saw all that happened. And plus to the social media, because we saw real-time reports and we saw everything that happened. And you've also mentioned the issue of having those who are involved in vote buying, prosecution, and all of that. And how many times does this really happen? And if you want to even look at the current reality, to be very honest, I don't think that even if you want to have the voter education that you want to have, because again, if you look at the voting population, mostly you find out that those who are in the rural community are the ones who are engaged in voting and casting their vote or participating in the elections. And times are literally very hard. So is it really possible at this time when it looks as though poverty and hunger, is just the same thing with corruption, and it can just go apart with the issue of being induced and influenced? Because they would always say, it's a street statement, that a hungry man is an angry man. And a hungry man most times literally might not even have time to begin to think about or process properly, because at the immediate time, Abraham Maslow would say that if you cannot meet a certain need at a certain level, you can't move to the next level. So if you've not been able to satisfy a certain level of need, how do you move to another one? So, and we're talking about basic needs now. When people are hungry, when people want food, do you think that if someone approaches them, I mean, it would take a lot of guts for somebody to say no. So someone who has not eaten for years, who doesn't have a job, is homeless. I really don't know. But I think that it would have to take more than, voter education. It would have to take so much to get people to turn out and cast their votes, and get people to really, really cast their votes and ask the right questions without not even bothering, because if you swing a 1,000 naira in front of them, they would literally just compromise. So, I mean, these are my concerns. It sounds very okay for us to be, positive. I mean, to sound very positive and have this anticipation and say that INEC would take responsibilities for the shortcomings. It was stated in the Electoral Act that there would have to be a process to review if there were complaints about duress, people being under duress to declare elections or any comment whatsoever. But did we have those administrative processes? So we have had several election cycles before 2023. So I do have a lot of doubts, and I'm quite very worried. But again, it's our reality. Mercy.
Yes, just like I said, it's our reality. I also think that citizens need to learn to demand accountability from their representatives, because it's left out there that these people go there and there is no one to hold them accountable for what is being done. So if citizens begin to hold their representatives accountable, I think some of these issues can also be solved. If citizens, hey, we put you there, it is you're representing us over there, so you have to. We need to start holding our representatives accountable. I think if these things keep happening, people would will meet up to the task and their responsibilities for which they are being elected to be there. Because if you go there as a legislator, as a representative of your constituents, and you do whatever you feel like doing, and there is nobody to hold you accountable, the next person comes up and does the same, because there is no penalty for it. There is nobody to hold them accountable for whatever they are doing. So I think citizens themselves need to start holding their representatives accountable. This would also help a whole lot during the electoral process and the governance process as a whole.
Well, that sounds very fantastic, a fantastic idea. It's something that we constantly have said. When we say hold our leaders accountable, how can we hold our leaders accountable? It's another question that I'd like to ask you.
So there are several ways for which we can hold our leaders accountable. We need to meet them, we need to have conversations with them. So I know that you might say that these people they are not approachable, and they might not really be open to having these conversations with citizens. But if citizens have a united voice and approach their representatives, there is no way that they would not be given a listening ear. And we are in an era of social media where a lot of these people, a lot of our representatives see these things that people say. If their constituents engage them on social media, engage them on personal conversations, engage them on, let's say, mini town hall meetings, it can also be an avenue for which we can have conversations with these people and hold them accountable. If you feel your representative is not meeting up to the task for which they have been elected there are options of recall. If you feel this,
and how many times have we seen the recall process work? No, how many times? How many times?
Okay, if it is done according to the law, I don't think this process, the recall process, would not work. So it's also an avenue, and then we can also have an avenue where we can advocate for reforms of the Electoral Act and also the Constitution. Just recently, the Senate Committee on Constitutional Review concluded public hearings. It's also an avenue for which these reforms can go.
Well, I'm sorry, because we're being told that we have to go now, unfortunately. But Mercy, I really do appreciate you for being part of the conversation. And I also want to commend your optimism, you know, in this conversation, the faith that you have. And I'm hoping that, you know, that becomes a reality. But there are just so many issues, you know, begging for answers. This is where I let you go, right? I'd have to let you go at this point. Thank you so much for being part of the show, and we hope that we have this conversation some other time. I'm being told that I'll quickly just take this comment quickly before I just say what I have to say, and then I move on. Now, so this comment is from... Citizens can't have a united voice, sadly. There's so much hunger and poverty plus literacy. And thank you so much for sending this one. Sally sent it right there. And I couldn't agree more. And that's the truth. So it felt like Mercy and I were going to have a back and forth here. I really, because we have to be real. We have to really be very real. There's so much that's going on. And so for every other time we come up and say, I'm tired of this particular phrase and word that we used to say, especially, you know, when we have people come on the show, we say, let's hold our leaders accountable. How? No, how can ordinary people who have not had food to eat, who are hungry, who can access the hospital, hold the leaders accountable? Where do they even see them? Some of them don't have electricity to power their phones. Some of them don't even have phones. So where exactly with these people, even the constitutional review that happened, do you know the location, several locations? How many common men had access? The poor of the poorest had access, the location and the address. And no wonder, you know, a certain lawmaker said that, you know, the Constitution is an elitist document. It is meant for a select few. Not to even say that it's a document of our colonial masters, we the people, because we the people, or the military government at the time, because we the people were not part of it. Again, we constantly say, let the people hold the government account. How can? Do we not have the principle of checks and balances? Why do we have, you know, the various arms of government and functions of government? Why do we have the judiciary, the executive, and the legislative? Because these three arms of government existed as a theory to check the excesses of different parts. So the judiciary will check the excesses of the executive, and the legislative will do otherwise. But it looks as though these three arms of government are working together in unison. They have never been so united. But that's the much we can take at this point in time. We'll definitely return tomorrow. Please stay tuned and be part of the conversation every day. My name is Mercy Boko. I have to run away now. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation. Good night.